All right, all right. Peace and blessings to everyone out there. Welcome to another Supreme Numerics offering. Supreme Numerics, where we use the practical application of numerology to help you achieve your personal power and abundance. That is the meaning of Supreme Numerics. And the time of this recording, or the time of this live, it is Sunday, March 23rd, 2025. Around 9:17 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And this video is going to cover the week of March 24th, numerology forecast, the universal energy for all of us, affecting everyone regardless of your birthday, number, zodiac sign, etc., etc. And before we get into the weekly energy, the universal weekly energy, let's recap or review the yearly, the monthly, and what else we got going on cosmically at this time. So right now we are in a 9 universal year, 3 universal month, and a 7 universal week. And also we have Venus retrograde. Venus has been in retrograde since March 1st, and they'll continue to be in retrograde until April 12th. Mercury is also in retrograde as of March 15th, going up until April 7th. And on Saturday, March 29th, there will be a partial solar eclipse. So we still have a lot of things happening cosmically around us, and we're in addition to that, we had the spring equinox on Thursday of last week, the 20th. So we're rolling into the new cosmic year, the spring equinox. So we have a lot of things going on cosmically, but nothing that we can't handle. So let's go ahead and get into the weekly forecast. So like I said, we're in a 7 universal week, and attributes of the number 7 include solitude, introspection, inner growth, self-awareness, law of attraction, self-analysis, intuition, research, spirituality, and looking before you leap. So if you kind of keep these themes in mind as we're going through each day of the week, I'm giving you what intuition and what spirit is telling me of what messages to share with you, but it's not limited to these themes or these messages or these energies. If you look at it holistically, there's numerous ways that you can look at these energies and apply them to this week. So if you would like to know more about that, just reach out to me and I can give you some additional information about the number 7 and the themes of a number 7 cycle. And also on a personal level, if you want to know how this energy and this frequency is affecting you on a more personal, more intimate level based on your individual birthday, you can reach out to me and I'll show you how to calculate that, and I'll show you what the numbers say for you in that area. So starting with tomorrow, Monday, March 24th, 2 + 4 makes it a 6th day on our calendar. And when we add up the month, day, and the year, it is a 9 universal day. And the number 6 brings a sense of balance to our lives. And with that number 9, it brings a balance in terms of considering what needs to stay or what needs to go, what we need to let go, under that number 9 energy. And in the context of the 7 universal week energy, it's a time for us to sit and reflect on what needs to go, what needs to stay, so we can bring our lives into a better balance, especially since we're in this last full week of March and we'll be heading into a new month next week, going into April. Tuesday, March 25th, we have a number 7 for the calendar day and the number 1 universal day. So as we're going into these last few days of March, and like I said, the last full week of March, it will be important for us with this double 7 energy between the 7 calendar day and the 7 universal week for us to visualize what new opportunities, goals, and how we would like to have a fresh start. In what ways can we have a fresh start in April going into that new month? But the object is to, when we think about how we want the new week to go and the new month to go, we need to visualize it in our mind on what we want it to look like exactly and how we want it to go. Wednesday, March 26th, it's a number 8 calendar day, and it's a master number 11 / number 2 day, depending on how you add it up. But we'll look at it in reference to the number 2, reducing that 11 down. 1 + 1 = 2. As you're looking to advance your objectives, especially in the areas of career and finance and money, seeking out assistance from like-minded individuals may be beneficial. But keep in mind, the outcomes of the day will be a direct result of what you put in to the day, as the number 8 carries karmic energy. And I'll also say about the number 26 from the compound numerology perspective is that as you're getting with like-minded individuals, make sure it's people that you can trust, because the number 26 runs the risk of financial ruin based on poor choices in partnerships and unions. So whoever you're deciding to get with in terms of advancing your financial situation or your career situation, just make sure it's someone that's trustworthy and someone that has good intentions, and someone who's knowledgeable, of course, because you can have people who have good intentions, but they're not knowledgeable or skilled or have the expertise in a particular area, and they can end up leading you towards financial ruin. Thursday, March 27th, is a number 9 calendar day, number 3 universal day. So closing out the week and the month, consider what to let go or what needs to be closed out or completed so you can create the space to expand and grow holistically, personally, professionally. However way you need to expand or grow, you need to clear out and let go of what no longer serves you and what you don't need, so you have that space to grow. Especially going into April. April is the 4th month on the calendar, but it'll also be a 4 universal month. And we know that the number 4 is connected or associated with restrictions or limitations. So you don't want to be restricted or limited by dead weight and things that you don't really need. And we'll talk more about that number 4 month next week when I drop the universal month forecast and the frequency of the word April. We'll talk more about that number 4, later in the week or next week. Friday, March 28th, is a number 1 calendar day, and it's a number 4 universal day. And although it's the end of the week, it's a good time to start planning for the next week. Even though we're not there yet, you can start laying the groundwork for that week of the 31st, which will only have 1 day in March, and then the rest of the week will be transitioning into April. So so Friday is a good day to start planning out the next week and the next month. And particularly thinking about your organization and your systems. How can you be better organized compared to how you performed or how you did in March? And what adjustments do you need to make to your systems and your organizational systems and your structures to ensure that April is a successful month, especially since it's a four universal month that is all about work, structure, organization, systems. Saturday, March 29th, as I mentioned at the beginning of the video, we have a solar eclipse happening that day. Symbolically, I'm not sure what that means. You'll have to talk to an astrologer about how that'll affect us on a spiritual level. But if you're into that, or if you know about that, we do have a solar eclipse happening, partial solar eclipse happening on Saturday, March 29th. But it will be a master number 11/number 2 calendar day, and it'll be a 5 universal day. So this will be a day to make positive changes or adjustments going into the new week and the new month. Once again, a lot of this energy that spirit is guiding me towards is telling you that we should be setting our sights and our thoughts and our intentions on transitioning into the new month, reflecting on this month that we're wrapping up and thinking about how we can improve upon the next month. So with that number 5 energy on Saturday for that universal day, positive changes for that specific day, but also positive changes that will spring us into the next few days, into the next week, and into the new month, so we can hit the ground running on April 1st when it comes on that Tuesday. And it'll also be the end of Ramadan. Shout outs to my Muslim brothers and sisters. Eid Mubarak to you all on March 31st. And then we have April 1st, the new month, on Tuesday. In terms of the number 2 energy, that 11/number 2 energy, it's a time to be compassionate with others, and also, again, to get with like-minded people. But we have to exercise some caution again on the 29th, since the number 29 in compound numerology is associated with betrayal and hidden dangers and hidden enemies. So don't just get with anybody. Make sure you get with your trusted people, and you're using your intuition under that 7 universal week to evaluate and properly vet who you interact and engage with on Saturday the 29th under that 29 and that master 11 energy. So that'll close out the universal week forecast of what's ahead for the upcoming week. And we'll close out with the reflection for this week. And shout out to Will Monique. You caught me again. Hopefully you've been here for the last 15 minutes. We're getting to the end here. But of course, if you're just joining in, you can watch the replay. We're about to wrap up with the reflection question for the week. And it's actually a series of questions. And I'll share the overall assignment for yourself. And then I'll just read off the questions, and the questions are in the description of this video that you can reflect on and journal on. So this week's reflection: in this last full week of March, go into solitude, as it's a 7 universal week, and reflect. And the number 7 is connected to reflection. Reflect on your thoughts, words, motives, and actions over the past month. And if you need some areas to start with that, here are a couple of questions that you can consider as you go into your self-reflection in your alone time, in your solitude. What did I think, say, and do this month, and why? That's the first question. The second question, in what ways did I grow and expand during this 3 universal months, since the number 3 is all about growth and expansion? And if I did not grow and expand, why not? Next question, in what ways can I improve myself holistically going into April? And the last question, what do I want to visualize for myself going into this new week and new month, and why? And we're emphasizing visualization since we're in this 7 universal week. We're going into the 7 universal week, and that number 7 is a law of attraction number in which you want to visualize what you want and what you desire and attract it rather than chase after it. So what do I want for myself going into this new week and this new month? And whatever it is, visualize it, but also consider why you want it. Because once you contemplate and consider your motivations behind wanting that, you may change your mind. You may say, well, that's not something that I really need or really want for myself. So it's important to ask yourself why. Take that step further and evaluate your motivations, the motivations behind your thoughts, your words, your actions, your deeds, your desires. So this has been the universal week forecast for the week of March 24th, 2025. I will that this week be a productive, joyful, abundant week for you. And you're excited about this new season that we're going into, the new month that we're going into, and you have great things lined up and to look forward to going into this new week and this new month next week. So again, if you want to know how this weekly energy or this monthly energy or this yearly energy is affecting you on a personal, more intimate level, just reach out to me. I'll show you how to calculate the numbers, what the numbers mean, and how you can use the numbers to achieve your personal power and abundance, which is the definition of supreme numerics. So I'll see you in next week's universal weekly forecast, also the April monthly universal forecast. And if you haven't caught the most recent episode of Unread Book Review that just aired yesterday, go and check that out with me and my sister Rue. Shout out to Rue. And we'll catch you next time. Be well and continue striving to be the best version of yourself. Peace.